I once broke my own neck and then I broke it back into place. It was an incredible and beautiful experience. I share more in common with worms because if you were to separate the lower half of my body from the upper half, both sides would regrow a new top and bottom and literally form two versions of myself. I was in the middle of chewing my food once and got carried away and completely devoured myself by accident. To rectify the situation, I shit myself back out and reformed back into physical form in the original layout that my body was beforehand. I do not care about anything. Sometimes I strangle myself for hours on end. I do not believe I have any reason to exist, to be honest. I am, and therefore I do. If I were to be decapitated, I would most likely grow a new head. I can fathom the unfathomable and imagine the unimaginable. I am always realistically realistic when I am being realistically realistic. Realistically, when being realistic, I assume realism is the best way to be realistically realistic. That would make realistic sense when using a realistically realistic perspective. I am not bound by perception. I interpret the world through my third eye that is omnipotent and omnipresent. I can predict the future, but it's pointless and serves no purpose at all. I do not believe I am being childish at all. I am actually so incredibly mature that your brain is translating my words and sentences into something more childish which your ego could handle and judge to make yourself feel better about yourself. You do not even know that you are doing it. I once went to Harvard, but I dropped out because I thought they were all thick as fuck. I eat bananas and coconuts raw. I do not open or peel them first, and sometimes I swallow them whole. I once had a brain tumor and I set up my own medical lab and conducted brain surgery on myself. I even made a few improvements. I can now detect sounds via smelling. I once lived in the jungle and formed a strong family bond with white gorillas. I fell in love with a female gorilla and we would make sweet love all night every night, and we would sit for hours chatting about science and psychology whilst drinking Earl Grey tea and eating digestive biscuits. I once drank an entire ocean's worth of Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper himself was so impressed he shook my hand. I told him that no human interaction is necessary because I was in fact mentally in the fifth dimension at the time, and interacting with my carbon-based vessel would not really complement and connect with me at all.